Hey folks, here's a little car I wanted to share with you, a little hot rod I built back in the mid-80s. Bought this car in about 1986, bought it from a car lot. It's a 1980 model AMC Spirit. Almost a two-seater, but not quite. While I'm sitting in the driver's seat driving it, I can reach back and touch the right rear fender hump. Give you an idea of how short it is. It's shorter than a Mustang, it's smaller than a Mustang. I asked him what he wanted for it, and it had a bad four-cylinder in it that smoked real bad and knocked. He said he'd take $100 for it, and I could not believe my ears. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because I've always known that these little cars are instant hot rods. It's small, yet it's got the same front end parts under it the big AMCs had. The Ambassador, the Javelin, the parts will interchange and go right under it, especially the Javelin. All you got to do is put a set of V8 springs in this car, and you got a hot rod. And it's smaller than a Mustang. Took the four-cylinder out, had a 69 model Chevy 350, bored 40 over. Got the double hump 300 horsepower Corvette heads, Edelbrock aluminum intake with a 650 CFM quadrijet. Mallory ignition, got chrome swirl polished valves in the head. Got the smaller pulley roller down on the crankshaft, slows down the alternator and power steering by a certain percentage. Muncie 4-speed, got the M22 Muncie in it. Got a 12-bolt AMC rear end that I believe the gears are 373s, is what I think they are. Those are Corvette center dump exhaust manifolds. I've bought the little short headers before, and I can get them on the right side with no problem, but on the right side would require a bunch of work on changing around the steering rod. It could be done, I could do it, but I just don't. It's not necessary. If you knew how many cars this little car had outrun, I mean, it's a sleeper. It is hilarious to see these guys in these fancied up Mustangs and Camaros. It's hilarious to see their eyes look like golf balls when you kick their butt, buddy. I'm telling you, this car, I've outrun Mustangs on nitrous and them off nitrous. I can outrun them even if they're on nitrous. Just too much power for such a little light duty car. I believe this engine's putting out around 400 horsepower. It's got a Crane 488 intake, 508 exhaust lift cam. Not a big cam, but it's definitely, it's there. It's a pretty good cut. Just put a new, fairly new V8 Ford radiator on it, which helped it run a lot cooler, makes it a lot more responsive. All it is just a plain Jane car. I never took time to really doll it up and fix it up and spend a lot of money on it. Raced it all these years without a tachometer, believe it or not. Little Hurst close ratio shifter. I'm telling you, that is close as it can be. It don't move far. Turn the electric fuel pump on, crank her up. Let her build just a second. It's got a melting high pressure oil pump rather than high volume. With the high volume, you have to change the oil pan. It's not idling slow enough for you to really hear the cam. Not really. If you idle it way down, it's got a good looking cut to it. Look at that 12-bolt rear end. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I just cleaned the rear end up. Those traction bars are made as a part of the rear end. You couldn't take them off if you wanted to. They're part of what holds the rear end in the car. They're permanent. I built them, made them that way myself. Alrighty. Fixing to run out of time here, folks. So. There you go. Now it's slowed it down a little bit. It hadn't been run enough. The carburetor's wanting to stick just a little bit. It just don't never get run none. This car